The phone hums. Its light pierces the dark. You reach for it. Fingers graze the screen. A name appears. No new words. No sign. You scroll. Up, up, into the past. The same thread. The same silence. You pause. Then scroll again. Why? The words haven't changed. The quiet hasn't broken. Yet your eyes linger, searching for a reason. A shift. Something to make it fit. Your chest tightens. A gray streak pulses. Each tap pulls you back. To a moment you can't touch. To a truth you can't force. You know it's empty, yet your hand moves. Repeat. What do you seek in a void that doesn't speak? You call it a check, a reflex. Just one glance, you say. But glances carve. They etch grooves into your now unseen, unfelt, until the weight settles. Each time you return, you trade something. Not hours, not thoughts, presents. You give the now to a ghost that doesn't answer. For what? A reply that never comes? A meaning you've already seen? You tell yourself it's closure, but closure isn't a text. It's not a word. It's the moment you stop digging and stand still. The silence grows, heavier, with each check. It's not just time you lose. It's the ground beneath you, slipping. You feel it, the ache behind your ribs. Not loud, not sharp, but there. A gray tide, rising. It doesn't scream. It whispers. You don't name it. You don't need to. It's there. In the pause you dodge. Each scroll widens the fracture. Each chase buries you deeper. The pain isn't their absence. It's your refusal to let the question rest. You know this. Yet the screen stays lit. Epictetus said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." The phone isn't the chain. Your grip is. The screen isn't the trap. Your need is. Let it go dark. The world doesn't flinch. The silence you fear is not your enemy. It's your mirror. It shows you, not them. It holds you, not their words. The void you run from is where you see, where you begin. When you check again, what do you hold? The ache you carry or the story you weave? You call it closure, but it's a shadow you chase. A shadow that moves when you do. Stop, and it stops. Look at your hand. It trembles. Why? The answer isn't there. It's here. In the breath you're not taking. In the moment you're not seeing. You don't need their reply. You need your own stillness. You don't need their truth. You need your own ground. The loop spins. Tighter. Faster. It pulls you in. Unless you cut it. One pause. One breath. That's the blade. That's the break. The urge rises. Let it. The screen calls. Ignore it. You don't need to know. You need to be. Here. Now. The silence waits. Step into it. You feel it. The pull to explain. To unravel the silence. Why did they go? Why didn't they see? Your mind churns, building answers that don't hold. You open the chat. Fingers hover. You type a word, then pause. Why? To make it clear? To make it right? The words form, then dissolve. You try again. The screen stays blank. The quiet press. Heavier now. Who hears when you shout into the void? You wait for a sign. What shifts if it comes? You trace the moment. What do you keep? The ache grows, not because they left. Because you're still asking. You're still chasing. The questions pile, each one sharper, each one tighter. You know they don't answer. Yet you ask again. Why? You hide the pain. Who sees? You carry the weight. Who lifts it? The silence isn't theirs. It's yours. You clench your fist. What breaks? You seek meaning where none lives. You chase clarity. What stays? The gray behind your chest. It's not their doing. It's yours. Each question, a knot you tie. Each answer you seek. A step you lose. The screen doesn't light. No reply comes. You feel the urge to fill the gap, to make it make sense. But sense isn't there. It's here. In the pause you avoid. In the breath you don't take. The loop runs, not because it heals, because you let it. You know this, yet your mind spins again. The Stoic doesn't ask, he sees. The urge to explain is a chain you forge. Break it. Step back. Let the silence be. You don't need their answer. You need your own ground. One breath cuts the thread. One pause holds you still. The void isn't loss. It's space. For you. For now. The questions rise. Let them pass. Nothing answers. Nothing needs to. Way 1. Stop chasing closure. The urge strikes. Soft. Relentless. You unlock the phone. The screen glows. A name. No new words. You scroll through days, weeks, months of silence. The same lines. The same gaps. You pause, then read again. Why? To find the why? To catch a truth you missed? Your chest tightens. A gray pulse hums. Each swipe drags you back. To a moment frozen. To a question unanswered. You know it's done, yet your eyes stay fixed. Chasing closure is a cage. It's not a path. It's a wall. Each check binds you tighter to a past that doesn't move. You don't find answers. You lose your now. The weight isn't their silence. It's your refusal to let it lie. You trade presence for a ghost that doesn't speak. The gray grows, not loud, not sharp, but there, carving. You're not seeking. You're sinking. You feel it. The ache behind your ribs. You've been here before. Yet your hand moves again. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The chat isn't the chain. Your need to know is. The screen isn't the trap. Your grip is. Put it down. Let it go dark. The world doesn't shift, but you do. The silence you dread is not your foe. It's your ground. It holds you, not their words. It shows you, not their truth. The void you run from is where you stand. Don't text. Don't check. Sit with it. Feel the urge. Let it burn. Let it rise. Let it fade. It passes. It always does. You don't need their reply. You need your own stillness. One breath, then another. That's the cut. That's the break. You don't need their ending. You need your own beginning. You don't owe anything. The screen dims. You let it. The quiet settles. You don't stir it. That's the first step. Way 2. Break the loop of regret. The memory hits uncalled. A choice you made or didn't. A word you held back or let slip. It stings. Sharper now. You sit alone. The room dark. Still. The scene plays. Vivid. Relentless. You trace each step. What you did. What you missed. You dissect it. Seeking the fix. The why. You find nothing. Yet you stay. Why? To learn? To punish? The past locks tight. Yet you keep knocking. Regret is a thief. It doesn't teach, it takes. Each replay steals your now. You don't rewrite the past. You lose the present. The weight isn't the mistake. It's your refusal to let it rest. You think reliving it brings clarity. It doesn't. It buries you. Each loop carves deeper. Each what if drains breath. The gray thickens, not loud, not sharp, but there, heavy. You're not healing. You're trapped. You feel it. The pulse behind your chest. You've walked this loop before, yet your mind turns again. Seneca said, "You have suffered enough, and more than enough. The past isn't a puzzle to solve. It's a weight you carry, until you drop it. The memory isn't truth, it's noise. Observe it. Don't chase it. Let it rise. Let it fall. It's not you. It's a shadow. One breath cuts the cycle. One pause clears the frame. The loop spins until you step out. Don't argue with the memory. Don't dwell. Witness. Feel the sting. Let it fade. It passes. It always does. You don't need to fix the past. You need to release the present. Step back. The now is enough. One breath, then another. That's the break. That's the ground. Pain doesn't mean truth. The scene blurs. You don't follow. The quiet holds. You don't break it. That's where you stand. A stone sinks. The river moves on. You stand still. The current doesn't wait. Nothing holds except what you choose. The water flows cold, clear. It doesn't ask why. It doesn't look back. You breathe. The air is sharp. The moment is enough if you let it be. The weight lifts for a moment. The gray softens. But it's not the end. It's the edge. Way 3. Refuse to explain. The silence lands. Their eyes don't meet yours. A word they said or didn't. It cuts. You feel it. You start to speak, to clarify, to make them see your side. Your voice builds. You lay out the truth. Why you acted, why you stayed, why you're not what they think. They don't hear, or they don't care. You push harder, words piling. You think the right phrase will shift them. It won't. You've tried before. It never does. Why? To be understood? To be right? The air thickens, and you keep going. Explaining is a trap. It's not reason. It's surrender. Each word ties you to their indifference. You don't change their view. You lose your own. The cost isn't their silence. It's your ground. You don't gain their nod. You give away your center. The gray grows, not loud, not sharp, but there, heavy. You're not defending. You're pleading. You feel it, the ache behind your ribs. You've been here before, yet your voice rises again. The stoic holds where others chase. The reactive begs and falls. One speaks to fill the void, the other lets it be. One seeks their eyes, the other finds his own. Their judgment isn't your chain, unless you wear it. Say less. Let their gaze slide past. You don't need their truth. You need your own. Stop. Breathe. The world doesn't shift, but you do. The silence you fear is where you stand. Don't argue. Don't prove. Step back. Feel the urge. Let it burn. Let it rise. Let it fade. It passes. It always does. You don't need their nod. You need your center. One breath, then another. That's the line. That's the ground. No explanation is power. The silence stays. You don't break it. The gray pulses. You don't chase it. That's where you hold. Way 4. Pause before reaction. The slight lands. A word. A glance. A silence. Your pulse spikes. The heat rises. You feel it. The fire in your chest. You want to speak, to strike back, to fix it now. Your hands tense. Your voice forms. It's instant, familiar. You've answered this before. The spark pulls. You lean into it. You think you'll win, or prove, or stop the sting. You move, and the moment burns. You've burned before, yet you move again. Why? Reacting is a chain. It's not power, it's loss. Each snap, each word you throw, pulls you from your center. You don't resolve, you unravel. The cost isn't the slight. It's your clarity. You trade your ground for a fleeting release, and the gray spreads. Not loud, not sharp, but there, clouding. You're not acting, you're falling. You feel it, the weight behind your ribs. You know this, yet the heat pulls again. Marcus Aurelius said, "Nothing enters the mind unless you open the gate." The spark isn't the fire, your reaction is. The slight isn't the wound, your answer is. Hold the gate. Pause. Count 3 breaths. Slow, deliberate. Let the heat rise. Let it fall. It's not you. It's noise. The world waits. You don't need to answer. You don't need to fight. You need to see. Don't speak. Don't act. Observe. Feel the fire. Let it fade. Let it burn. Let it pass. It always does. You don't need to win. You need to stay. One breath, then another. That's the wall. That's the ground. The spark dies if you don't feed it. You don't have to react. The heat cools. You hold still. The quiet settles. You don't stir it. That's where you begin. Why do I answer? You ask. The quiet replies. Because it burns. You pause. Then why not wait? No answer comes. Only breath. The pause lingers. You don't fill it. The gray softens. You don't chase it. That's the shift. Way 5. Release the need for validation. Their gaze skims. It doesn't hold. You speak. They hear, but don't see. You try again. Louder. Clearer. You show your work, your worth, your weight. You need them to nod, to confirm you're enough. Their silence cuts. You push harder. You explain. You prove. You become more. Why? To belong? To matter? You chase their eyes and lose your own. You've chased before, yet you lean in again. Validation is a cage. It's not connection. It's captivity. Each effort pulls you from your ground. You don't gain their light. You lose your own. The cost isn't their indifference. It's your presence. You don't rise in their eyes. You fall in your own. The gray grows. Not loud, not sharp, but there. Draining. You're not building. You're begging. You feel it. The ache behind your ribs. You know this, yet you reach again. Epictetus said, "Seek truth, not in others' mirrors. Their nod isn't your worth. Your silence is. Their gaze isn't your ground. Your stillness is. Withdraw. Let their eyes pass. Let their words fade. You don't need their weight. You carry your own. Stop. Breathe. Slow. Deliberate. The world doesn't shift, but you do. The silence you fear is where you see. Don't prove. Don't plead. Step back. Feel the urge. Let it burn. Let it rise. Let it fade. It passes. It always does. You don't need their nod. You need your center. One breath, then another. That's the cut. That's the ground. The gaze moves. You don't follow. Detachment is a form of respect. Their eyes fade. You stay still. The quiet holds. You don't break it. That's where you stand. Way 6. Face the void. The silence falls. You tense. The room stills. No sound to hold you. You grab the phone. Swipe without thought. You play a song. A voice. Anything to push it back. The quiet presses. You move faster. You scroll. You click. You drown it out. Why? To stay busy? To stay safe? The void looms, and you turn away. You've run before, yet the weight stays. The noise rises, but the gray remains. Fleeing emptiness is a chain. It's not freedom, it's delay. Each swipe, each sound, widens the gap inside. You don't escape the void, you grow it. The cost isn't the moment, it's your ground. You trade your now for noise that doesn't hold, and the gray spreads. Not loud, not sharp, but there, heavy. You're not living, you're hiding. You feel it, the pulse behind your ribs. You know this, yet your hand moves again. The Stoic sits where others run. The void isn't loss, it's truth. An empty room is not a threat. It's a mirror. It shows you, not the noise. It holds you, not the screen. Sit with it. Let the quiet press. Let the emptiness breathe. It's not your foe, it's your ground. Stop. Stay still. The world doesn't shift, but you do. The silence you fear is where you see. Don't distract. Don't flee. Witness. Feel the weight. Let it settle. Let it rise. Let it fade. It passes. It always does. You don't need to fill. You need to face. One breath, then another. That's the edge. That's the ground. The void clears if you let it. The void is where it clears. The silence stays. You don't break it. The gray pulses. You don't chase it. That's where you begin. A study shows 80% of people revisit painful memories daily. The mind loops, not to heal, to hold. It clings, not to learn, to punish. The weight grows, not because it helps, because it's trained. You breathe, the air is sharp. The loop spins until you stop it. The quiet anchors. You don't stir it. The gray softens. You don't pull it back. That's the shift. Way 7. Silence the urge to fix. The rift grows. A bond fades. A word unsaid. A gap you can't bridge. You reach out one more time. A message. A call. You think you can close it. Make it whole. You craft the words. Careful. Precise. You wait. No reply comes. Or it does. Cold. Distant. You try again. Deeper. Harder. You think you'll mend it. You won't. You've tried before. It never holds. Why? To save them? To save you? The space widens, and you keep reaching. Fixing is a leash. It's not repair. It's control. Each effort pulls you from your center. You don't heal the bond. You wound yourself. The cost isn't their distance. It's your presence. You don't close the gap. You lose your ground. The gray spreads. Not loud. Not sharp. But there. Heavy. You're not mending. You're chasing. You feel it. The ache behind your ribs. You know this. Yet your hand moves again. The Stoic lets lie what others force. Their choice isn't your weight unless you lift it. Their path isn't your chain unless you pull it. Disengage. Let the rift be. Let the fracture stand. You don't own their will. You own your own. Stop. Step back. The world doesn't shift, but you do. The urge to fix is where you lose. The silence you avoid is where you win. Don't call. Don't plead. Stay still. Feel the urge. Let it burn. Let it rise. Let it fade. It passes. It always does. You don't need to repair. You need to release. One breath, then another. That's the cut. That's the ground. The gap stays. You don't cross it. Not doing is power too. The quiet holds. You don't stir it. The gray fades. You don't pull it back. That's where you stand. Way 8. Hold the present. The mind pulls. Backward or forward. A moment you lost. A fear you dread. You see it. The day it broke. Or the one that might. The now fades. You don't notice. You live in then, or in what if. The room is still, but you're not. The chair creaks. The air moves. You're gone. Chasing shadows. Why? To hold the past? To shape the next? The present slips, and you let it. You've slipped before, yet you drift again. This isn't life. It's theft. Each drift robs your ground. The past doesn't give, it takes. The future doesn't form, it scatters. You don't live the moment, you lose it. The gray grows, not loud, not sharp, but there, thinning. You're not here, you're gone. You feel it, the pulse behind your ribs. You know this, yet your thoughts wander again. Seneca said, "The present alone is ours. The past is gone. The future isn't here. What need is there to weep over parts of life when the whole of it waits? Be here. Feel the weight of your breath. Hear the hum of the air. Let the then and the next dissolve. The now is not small. It's all you have. Stop. Ground. The world doesn't shift, but you do. The present holds, if you hold it. Don't dream. Don't dread. Witness. Feel the pull. Let it fade. Let it rise. Let it pass. It always does. You don't need time. You need now. One breath, then another. That's the anchor. That's the ground. The moment stays, if you stay with it. Stillness is enough. The now holds. You don't leave it. The quiet settles. You don't stir it. That's where you stay. The room dims. The screen goes dark. Your hands rest. Still. Heavy. The air moves. Slow. Cold. Nothing stirs. Except your breath. The world hums. You don't chase it. You didn't check. The urge passed. You didn't speak. The weight lifted. You didn't chase. The moment held. The quiet isn't empty. It's yours. The gray behind your chest. Softer now. Not gone, but seen. Not heavy, but known. You didn't fill the silence. You let it be. You didn't run from the void. You stood in it. What stays? When you don't react. The pull was there. You didn't follow. The ache was there. You didn't feed it. The silence was there. You didn't break it. What holds when you don't chase? The now, not the then. The breath, not the noise. The ground, not the shadow. Silence is a choice.